And so when it comes to creating a bigger impact and to be able to, one of the things that's actually required to be able to scale exponentially and not incrementally, and also for the change process to actually occur and be sustained, is what intentional change theory calls practicing new feelings, thoughts, behaviors, and habits, right? And when you look at what the scaling science says about that, it says expand your leadership capacity, which is you're going to need to create new thoughts, feelings, habits, exactly the same. And the research primarily has been focused on like cognitive behavioral therapy as being the primary way to create that change. However, one of the things that I've learned over the last decade of, going from fasting on water for 36 days, having a spiritual crisis, taking 10 years to integrate it and come back into the world with a level of groundedness and clarity and ultimate truth, is that there's a technique called emotional freedom technique. It stands for EFT, also known as tapping. It's a clinically researched technique that is used primarily for PTSD or complex PTSD recovery. It has similar effectiveness in terms of EMDR, which is like the gold standard when it comes to trauma release. And in my own journey of, taking what happened and basically experiencing unconditional love for weeks on end, and then getting to experience the opposite of that for many years until I could stabilize that within myself, was I learned techniques to be able to let go of the negativity and the previous belief systems and the old patterns and the generational stuff that's been passed down and the cultural conditioning, all that stuff had to be able to be let go, basically. And I learned two techniques in being able to do that. I learned EFT, and I also learned the mechanism of surrender as taught by Dr. David Hawkins. And so one of the things that we're doing in the Cultural Catalyst Network is actually integrating EFT and the mechanism of surrender in for these founders so that they can expand their leadership capacity and not just let go of what's below their floor from an intellectual standpoint. You have to understand, when you're asking people to let go of relationships and previous systems and businesses, this is emotional work, okay? And that's actually nervous system capacity. And one of the things that when we look at when it comes to nervous system capacity is that a lot of us are running on a 3G network, okay? Our full capacity is 5G, but most of us are running on a 3G network, okay? And what does that mean? Most of us are like, our nervous system basically can use a flip phone, okay? And that affects our ability to lead. That affects our ability to make decisions. That affects our ability to have relationships with others that actually be able to consistently produce results, let alone exponential results for people. And so to be able to expand your impact and expand your capacity and really actualize your desire, in our case, to be a cultural catalyst or whatever it is for you, you have to turn on 5G. And the only way that you can turn on 5G within your nervous system is to let go of the negativity that is distorting the signal within your body so that you can lead from a place of clarity, from a place of mindfulness, from a place of attunement, from a place of response instead of reaction. And we're living in a world right now that's moving faster than faster than faster. And my biggest concern right now, and most of us are still running on 3G, and we're just turning on the gas even more with AI. And so there's even more complexity to be able to address. And so that's why our ability to be able to be calm, to be able to be resourced, to be able to have the capacity to be able to meet every single moment that is in this moment with us is of the greatest challenge. And quite frankly, that's why we're offering that to people, because we know that they're not going to actualize themselves without doing that.